I think it's important for us to have a little discussion about the holidays. Let's start talking about the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. I broke it down in basically a few first fives, different ideas. And I think what I want to do is first give another shout out to PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. I think that if you are looking for a gift idea for a PlayStation fan out there, this is a pretty good, safe bet because they're likely not going to purchase their own PlayStation Now subscription, and that's a nice gift to receive. So that's like a collection of titles, mostly archival titles or back catalog titles that you can pick up and start playing immediately if you stream them, or you can download them to your PlayStation 4 or your PlayStation 5. And your PlayStation Plus gives you online access, and of course what you can do is you can bank that time. So if they've already got a PlayStation Plus account, they can jump in and add some extra time to it. And these are costs that are taken care of, and they also deliver a bunch of benefits in terms of game software as well. You only get a couple of freebies a month from PlayStation Plus, but you get a ton of games to choose from PlayStation Now. So that's what I would say is a good, safe bet for any PlayStation gamer on either machine, either PS4 or PS5, and at any age. And now what I want to do is break in some other categories, and I thought there's some PlayStation 4 titles that are essential plays, whether you play them on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, and I thought I would list these out for you. These are exclusives that Sony has paid for that you can only play them on PlayStation. Well, there's PC involved now. It's all getting confusing. But the thing there's a caveat here. Almost all of these games that I'm going to talk about are mature rated, and they're really violent, and it can be a little bit too much, too heavy, especially for younger players. So if you are buying something for a family member or a nephew or a niece, or keep in mind that this next roundup of games isn't for every single age. One of them is, though. All right, I'm calling these the essentials. And so at number 5, I would say Horizon Zero Dawn. This is an M-rated game as well. I'm pretty sure it is. But it's not especially gory or violent. You do get into some combat with humans, which can be a little bit severe. But it's not like you're not hacking limbs off. It's not super, super crazy. A lot of the action in this game, this beautiful action RPG, is all about fighting these mechanical creations and then taming them and riding them. It's a gorgeous game. It looks amazing on either PS4, PS4 Pro, or on PlayStation 5. It's all up-res, and I think there's going to be some enhancements coming to that as well. For number 4 in the Essentials collection, I would say Ghost of Tsushima. This is a beautiful, massive undertaking from Sucker Punch with exquisite art direction and unbelievable action. I think it's the gameplay that really sold it on me. Obviously, it's very violent. There's a lot of hacking and slashing, but it's just really fun. It's just, it's gorgeous, but it's like thumb candy. It's so addictive and enjoyable to play. You feel so stealthy and sneaky and competent, and it's gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful game. Ghost of Tsushima is definitely on this list for me. At number 3, I wanted to add in The Last of Us Part 2. Now, this is not a game for everybody. This is not even a game for every fan of The Last of Us Part 1. But I think this is one of the most harrowing and gorgeous and meticulously crafted video game experiences I've ever encountered in my life. I was riveted from start to finish. There's a lot of layers and a lot of nuance in the storytelling, but it's brutal, and it might not be the happiest holiday gift. At number 2, I would say God of War has got to be on this list. This is an exceptional sort of case of taking an action experience and infusing it with a lot of really developed storytelling and, characters that you really care about. There's a morose quality, a somber quality, but it is also spectacularly action-packed and just filled with, unforgettable moments and experiences. And, of course, the sequel is coming to the PlayStation 5, I think is it coming next year? We'll see about that. I think that might be delayed. But God of War 2 is number 1. You can probably guess my number 2. You can probably guess my number 1. too late. It's Spider-Man. This was out in 2018. It was our game of the year. This is the Peter Parker Spider-Man, and of course things are a little murkier now because we have more than one Spider-Man on PlayStation. But this was just a tour de force from Insomniac. Again, it's addictive and crazy, crazy enjoyable with amazing storytelling, movie quality visuals, and you're playing them. And the thing that's really impressive about Spider-Man is that it sort of dovetails into the cinematic Spider-Man experience that we have these days, but then you can go home and be Spider-Man and play Spider-Man, which blew me away then, blows me away now as I'm playing the remastered edition. Now, my next category for the gift guide ideas is for games that came out in 2020, and most of these I think all of them are playable on the PlayStation 4, but also on the PlayStation 5. Persona 5 Royal came out earlier this year, an unbelievably deep and fulfilling role-playing experience, Japanese role-playing experience. It's quirky, it's filled with really interesting and memorable and funny characters. There's some darkness and some heavy, elements to this kind of high school on steroids storytelling that's happening, but you're completely addicted to the gameplay loops in it, and also you just want to see what next level visual stimulation the developers have put together for this title. It's an incredible, incredible game. Number 4, I've got this is Star Wars Squadrons, which I didn't put PSVR into the little subject header there, but this is an excellent PlayStation VR game, which you can play on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. PS5 is going to be getting some enhancements into this title, I think, with lighting and stuff and visual effects. It's just a gorgeous, easy-to-play simulation, flying through space, taking out bad guys. EA's got a big hit on their hands, so they're adding new content to it, even though there was some, question about whether they would or not, but they're filling it with lots and lots of enjoyable elements. And what's really key here is there's also a really deep single-player story, which is a lot of fun to play with cool characters to get to know, and it's just sheer joy. Loved playing Star Wars Squadrons. Number 3 is Final Fantasy VII Remake, which came out this year, and it's a gorgeous redesign of what has been one of the most seminal role-playing experiences in video game history, Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1. It's a remarkable achievement because you're dealing with fantastic new mechanics in terms of combat and all the magic wielding and all the cool abilities that the characters have. There's all new voice work and really beautiful cutscenes, which Square Enix is famous for. And it also deviated quite a bit. So, if you know all of the details from the original, you're going to have a lot of really nice, tasty surprise. This is an awesome experience. And number 1 is going to be no surprise. Or number 2, sorry, I'm jumping the gun, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. This completely rocked my world when I played it. It has all of the classic soundtrack and the classic skaters that have been aged up, which is just incredible. This blew our minds a little more than 20 years ago, and it continues to blow our minds in 2020. You have the ability to skate through all of the parks in 1 and 2, and you unlock characters and outfits for your characters, and there's also the ability to craft your own levels and stuff, which don't look quite as good as the ones that the developers of Vicarious Visions put together, but it's all about the 60 frames per second, exquisite, tactile, wonderful gameplay. Very, very hard to put down, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. And number 1, Spider-Man is back, but this is the different Spider-Man. This is Miles Morales, again with a really cool family sort of focused story about Miles's upbringing and his, the relationships that he has with his friends, and some of the, the tragedy that he's also dealing with, and the doubts that he has as this new emerging hero. Some interesting storytelling and interesting characters throughout, but exquisite action sequences, fantastic fights, and it's absolutely stunning at 60 frames per second, with all the bells and whistles on the PlayStation 5. And it totally lives up to the first Spider-Man as well. It's arguably just as fun with maybe more tuned gameplay because Insomniac has had time to, work with their engine. And of course, one of the major things that they did is they completely changed the look and feel of Peter Parker. But I like it. I think it's great, and I can't get enough of Miles Morales. Again, it's just like in 2018 where I finished, the Marvel Spider-Man, and I kept going back to it and looking at every nook and cranny and just became obsessed with it. And I can't wait for more. I hope that Insomniac doesn't make us wait too long for more Spider-Man. And then finally, I have the sort of my first 5 gift ideas for those lucky few out there that happen to have snagged a PlayStation 5 for the holidays. So the first thing out of the gate is Astro's Playroom is included on every PlayStation 5. So this is not really a gift idea. It's just you got to remember to tell the people that get this console to not just throw in all the software that they get with the machine, but to play this one, because this game is amazing. It's so addictive and charming, and it's a love letter to all eras of the PlayStation, and it shows off what the DualSense controller can do in some beautiful ways, and you've got a smile on your face, and you're, engaged and entertained by the ingenuity the whole way through. At number 5, I've got a couple of games here, actually. You can take a couple of choices. And the reason why I wanted to include Sackboy: A Big Adventure is not so much that it's the most, insane single-player experience, but it's a great cooperative game. It's a lot of fun to play with somebody else, and I noticed that right away. It's very cute. It's very accessible. Puzzles and, all of the mechanics and stuff, you've kind of seen that kind of gameplay before, but it's tuned and polished. But then you can play everything with somebody else, which is important. And there's also a degree of customization available to you, and everything runs at 60 frames per second. But really, truly, it's the multiplayer elements of the game that really stand out. Really, really lovely to play with somebody else. But I would counter that with the option to pick up Dreams, which is from Little Big Planet and Sackboy's creators, Media Molecule. This is a game that allows you to create games, which may be a bit much. My daughter has not been so enthused to jump into the editor here and try to figure it out. It's not simple, and maybe not as simple as Media Molecule would want us to know about it, but the complexities of it allow the people that have the patience and the talent to create incredible experiences for us. And of course, that's what you can get with Dreams. You can just keep playing forever, which, I like that tagline. Number 4 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is absolutely stunning. I'm playing it, truthfully, on the Xbox Series X, not on the PlayStation 5, but I know they're very comparable. Thank you, Digital Foundry. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous adventure. It's set throughout England, but also you get some stuff in Norway as well. Beautiful lighting, beautiful architecture, incredible costumes and character designs, and epic battles, and lots of raids that you can go on, lots of wildlife to tackle. There's, of course, some Norse mythology infused in the game. Exquisite experience. Number 3 for me, for PlayStation 5, is NBA 2K21. This is the next-gen version of NBA 2K21. I mean, this is just a staggering accomplishment. I can't believe that Visual Concepts made an excellent PlayStation 4 basketball game and an even more excellent PlayStation 5 basketball game. It sucks that you can't just upgrade. This is one you actually have to buy again, but you can see that they didn't scrimp on the visual fidelity and the additions to this. When you pull the camera back, it can feel similar to what PS4 delivered, but they intentionally, the default camera is close because they want to show you all the detail that they put into it. Gorgeous game. Number 2 on PlayStation 5 is the PS5 version of Miles Morales, which runs in a performance mode at 60 frames per second, and you lose a little bit of the ray tracing, which is all the beautiful detailed reflections and stuff that you'll see in the windows and the shiny surfaces of the game. But it's better in 60 frames per second, except when you've got the Into the Spider-Verse costume, which kind of adjusts the way the frame rate happens anyways, and then you can juice it in 30 frames and you get all the ray tracing, and it's just staggering. Beautiful, beautiful game. But number 1 on PlayStation 5, and this might surprise some of you because I'm no good at it, but I certainly love it and I appreciate it, and this game moves me, man. Like, when I play it, I get physical. I'm screaming, I'm howling, and I'm smiling and laughing and crying. It's every emotion. It's a gorgeous game. Demon's Souls is just a staggering accomplishment from Blue Point, and obviously it's the first of the kind of the Souls roguelite experiences, and yeah, it's wonderful. Again, though, that's an M-rated game. It's not for everybody. I should have put all of the different ESRBs up there, but I was running out of time. But what I would say to any parents, definitely do a little research. Don't just go by my gift guide ideas and say, oh, this is great. This Demon Souls will be great for my 9-year-old. Don't do that. You know, be a little bit choosier with the appropriateness for the software that you get. Be engaged with it. You know, if there's one thing that 2020 has taught us is that holy crap, is there fun video game entertainment for us to play together and to know about and to pick the right software for the right occasion. You know. And PlayStation actually, commendably, they've got a launch library for PlayStation 5 that is very kid-friendly. It's it's totally cool for a younger person to play. Miles Morales or Sackboy, definitely Astro's Playroom, and then you can dig into the back catalog and pick up stuff like Dreams and stuff. But so there you go. There's a nice little package of gift ideas for the PlayStation player in your life.